About, at the moment I'm going to say, do this as an anonymous Australian, because I don't think that we're quite at the stage where we want to be able to expose ourselves to the community. But about nearly 30 years ago, I made a speech in the Northern Territory, the apex COP of Australia, and I received this letter back from the Chief Minister of the Northern Territory Government. And this is what it says. It's addressed to me. I wish to convey my congratulations on you being the recipient of the Public Speaking Award at the Northern Territory Apex Convention. It is pleasing to see you receive this recognition, and I trust your dedication to Apex will continue as it has in the past. May I take this opportunity to wish you all the best, the very best for your future. Yours sincerely, Marshall Perrin, Chief Minister of the Northern Territory Government. Now, why is that significant? Well, in this day and age when we have in the state of Victoria, we have virtually martial law and total decimation of the rights and freedoms of the Australian people. But to give you an idea, I wrote this speech 29 years ago. And here's part of that speech. It's right at the end. This is the end, the finale to the speech. And first of all, I quote Abraham Lincoln. What I said on that day was this. On the 19th of November 1865, Abraham Lincoln made a speech, and this is part of that speech. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we're engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. And that brings me to the final message of my speech. And that is that it is indeed freedom of speech, the right to be heard and the right to listen, which makes the difference between those nations which are conceived in liberty and those that are not. And that is so true that when a despot, an autocrat, a dictator, an authoritarian government seeks to curtail your freedoms and your liberties, the first things that he will attack is the right to speak in public, the right to meet in public, and the right to counter the thoughts and words of others who speak publicly. Stand up for freedom of speech. It's the only freedom you really have. Now that was written almost 30 years ago, as I said. And here's the point. I never thought for 1 millimetre of a second, 1 millisecond, that I would ever see in this country those rights attacked. And your right to meet in public would be taken away from you. There have been plenty of instances where you're not allowed to say certain things, you're not allowed to use certain words and so forth. There is a certain curtailing of free speech or absolute free speech. But I never thought that just meeting in public and speaking in public and countering the words of others who speak publicly would ever be outlawed in this country. Not until the cretin from the south. Everyone might think he's just a warlike cretin, but the man's not that. He's not just a warlike cretin, he's a truly dangerous man. Now this message is to you, the parliamentarians, all of you. Federal government, everyone in the federal government will get this, because at the moment there is a lot of people who are saying this sort of thing, but I'm directing it to you directly. Because this is about COVID-19, the epidemic. And this is the reason why the dictator from the south is allowed to take over and dictate how we can meet in public, how we can speak in public, and who we can speak to and what we can say. There are people who have been arrested in their own homes for just saying something on their Facebook page, just for speaking out publicly. They are now being arrested and thrown in prison. And don't say they're not, because they are. Here's an example.
all I want to say right now is that I'm going to go. I can't encourage or I can't recommend, I can't suggest anyone else to go because you're all adults and you can make up your own mind. You do what you want to do. If you want to go, sure. If you don't, sure, right? But I'm going to go at a distance, check it out, like even if we can get into the area because there are going to be a lot of people still going.
Watch what happened.
Yeah, because I'm trying to talk to you first. You're not telling me what you're doing. Yeah, what's it? Search warrant for what? What gives you the authority to have a search warrant? Whoa, you do that. You know what? Leave my shit! Don't break my stuff, you fucking retard! Hey, stop breaking my shit! Leave my shit! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Yeah, okay! Alright, stop! I'll stop! Okay, alright! Okay, stop!
Here's another example.
If this video doesn't bother you, if this footage, if what's happening now in Melbourne, Australia doesn't bother you, you are part of the problem. Share it far and wide.
You guys are doing this. Yeah, you can show me your search warrant before you go through my house.
You're the occupier of the tenant?
Yeah, I own this house.
There it is. It's a search warrant.
Search warrant for what?
Now, what I will explain to you is if you want to listen, you got your phone going.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Right. Now, you're under arrest in relation to incitement.
Incitement?
Yeah. Now, you're not obliged to say or do anything, but anything you say or do may be given evidence.
Excuse me, incitement for what? What on earth? Excuse me, what on earth?
So just put your phone down.
Can you, like,
relation
record
to-
this? I'm in my pyjamas.
What's
I have
this?
an ultrasound in an hour because
Yeah,
I'm
she's
pregnant.
pregnant, so...
I'll take it easy.
What's
In
this
relation
about?
to a
But I have an
face-
ultrasound
Just let me
in an
finish.
hour.
Let me finish and I'll explain. It's in relation to a Facebook post, in relation to a lockdown protest you put on for Saturday.
Yeah, and I wasn't breaking any laws by doing
You
that.
are actually, you are breaking the law. That's why I'm arresting you in relation to
In
incitement.
front
How
of
can
my
you arrest
children,
her?
In
That's-
front of my 2 children.
Can't you just say to her, take the post down? Like, come
I'm
on.
happy to
Not obliged.
delete the post. This
Should-
is ridiculous.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I have to give you these caution rights. You understand?
Yeah, that's
You're
fine.
not-
Like, I'm
not
happy to
obliged
delete
say
the
do
post. This is
anything.
ridiculous. Like,
Anything
this is
you say
in front of
do
me. That's
may be
fine.
giving evidence. You understand that?
Yeah, that's fine. But my 2 kids are here. I have an ultrasound in an hour. Like, I'm happy to
Let me
delete
finish.
the post.
You also have the right to communicate with or to communicate with a legal practitioner. You understand those rights?
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is a bit unfair. Come on, mate.
No,
What about she just doesn't do the event? Like, it's not like she's done it.
Well,
She
you've
made a
already
post.
committed the offence. So I'm not going to
So that's an offence.
Now, the search warrant entitles us and we're required to seize any computers, any mobile devices you have.
Earth?
Yeah, can I just get your
this
badge there,
crap?
mate?
It's all there. Okay? You understand?
No, I don't really understand what I've done wrong. I really don't understand what
told you
this
under
is
arrest.
ridiculous.
You've
I've
got
got
to
This is a lot of stress on her too. She's pregnant, like, come on.
I'll just relax.
I'm relaxed. This is just very unfair.
Just have a search. What we're going to do, I'll find out what we're going to do. We seize any computers and or
That's fine,
tablets.
can I
Just
just
let me finish. Let me finish. Any mobile telephone you've got, okay? So what we want is any mobile telephone you've got.
You're gonna need that.
No, that's actually my sister's phone. It's not
Yeah,
my
it's her
name.
sister. So.
Doesn't matter. Any device in this house we're taking.
This is
Well,
ridiculous.
you're not taking my phone.
I'm taking any device, mate.
Any
That's
device.
my phone. It's nothing to do with her. It's my phone.
And what about those people who just walk down the street with complete authority from their doctor and are thrown against a wall and strangled?
What the fuck? Let go Get the fuck off me! Get the fuck! Him. Stop! Fuck you, bitch! Get the fuck off me! What are you doing? You just kicked me. You're fucking choking me, dude! What the fuck? You're fucked in the head! You're fucked!
And look at the number of cops, these filthy little wallopers, and don't try and say you're anything else, you dumbass filthy cop wallopers. You're not policemen. Police are supposed to be working for the public, not against the citizens of the country. I can give you another example of that. Look at this dickhead from New South Wales. Now, all of you people, all of you, 150 of you, privileged 150 people who are put there by the people, of the people, by the people, for the people, in the Australian government. And let me tell you that our constitution is based on exactly the same constitution as the United States of America. We're not an English Australia. We're not from poor, pitiful little England. We've got our own constitution. We don't make up the laws as we go along. We've got our own constitution based on the American constitution. And if you don't believe it, you better go and read your history again, Mr. Lawyer. Mr. Filthy freaking lawyer, you think we've got some sort of other thing? What are you doing there? You are supposed to be representing the people of the country and doing their bidding. You're supposed to be telling them the truth about what's going on. If you were honest and fair and not just a piece of garbage that sits on his ass and takes the public purse money, you would be going to your electorate and saying, hey guys, settle down. In our electorate, in my electorate, there is no COVID-19. And if there is, you would say, there is only one case in the whole city of the Gold Coast, or 2 cases in the whole city of Brisbane, or 9 people in the whole of Western Australia have died from this in the last 12 months. Or 6 people, and we got it wrong. It wasn't 7. There was someone who was attributed to having COVID-19 and he never even had it. But he died anyway, so we just add it to the statistics because we like to lie to the public. But we have only had 6 cases in the whole of Queensland. 160 cases have died on the roads in that time. 160 people have died on the roads on that time. And guess what? All of those 6 people, nearly all of those 6 people, and probably all of them, I don't know, came from somewhere else. They didn't acquire the disease in Queensland. How many transmission of people to people in Queensland are there? Virtually none. This is what you should be telling the public of Australia. But you, gutless little turd that you are, sits on your ass in the federal government and takes the public money for nothing. You are filth. Seriously, you are filth. And at the same time, you allow this dictator from the south to close down his state and call a rally so that he can spread this disease like butter amongst the community. Because they're black. Because they're black or supporters of black people. Of something that happened on the other side of the world that has nothing to do with it. So while at the same time, we ignore pregnant women being thrown up against the wall and handcuffed and taken away from their children right in front of them. What sort of message are you giving to the rest of the world by sitting on your ass and doing nothing about it? You're filth, you're disgusting, you're despicable pieces of garbage. Especially when you know in your directorate, and I'm talking to the most of you, if you have 1 or 2 cases in your state, I'm not talking about Victoria. Of course, the man down there is a complete moron. Not just a moron, he's a very dangerous man. You need to get rid of him. He needs to go. The majority of Australians, if they knew the facts and if you gave them the facts, and you pointed out that it's only Victoria where they're allowed to spread this, just like it was in New York, using the same tactics, the same processes that they did in New York to make it a deadly disease, that's what he did in the South. Instead of isolating people and using proper tracing of the virus, he just let it go free. Let's just spread it. Let's just spread it freely. This is Daniel Andrews, and this is what I'm talking about. So please, take notice, because there are lots and lots and lots of people out there who have had enough of this. I've said enough. I've said more than enough. So if you want to come around and try to arrest me, go, bring it on. Bring it on, because if you come into my house, I've got these things everywhere. Look at them. Cameras everywhere and directly connected to the internet worldwide, and I will send you, make you famous in an instant. Mr. Cop, Mr. Walloper, Mr. Fed, whoever you are who's working against the free speech of public in this world. And as for you, politician, get off your fat ass and do something about it. Tell the truth about how many people in your electorate actually have the disease. Go and walk amongst them and say there is no need to worry here. Tell the truth. Say we don't have to close the schools in my electorate because there's no COVID-19. If that's the case, and if there is, just tell them how many you are. Isolated 2 cases there in hospital. In the whole state, there's 3 cases. Whatever the statistics are, and you know what the statistics are, I'll give them to you. Here they are. Take a look for yourself, right on your site. And by the way, why are you taking off actual statistics like the pie graph of where the disease came from and replacing it with something like, oh, wash your hands and be good people and wear a mask? All of which is useless information. Washing your hands is fine. But wearing a mask? Shouldn't be doing that, boys and girls. I'm not going to go into the conspiracy theories. I'm not going to say who brought it and how it came about and whether Fauci is a psychopath, which of course he is, and so forth. And whether he really has got a I don't know about this stuff. And whether he really has the patent on this stuff. Or whether they were actually delivering test kits for COVID-19 before there was a COVID-19, 2017. I don't want to go through those things because I can't confirm it. But I can trust the Department of Health website, which gives you the actual data. Now, your response will be, oh, better close down that page with the statistics because that's damaging to us. Like you did before. Like actually telling the people of Australia that the majority of cases came out of Europe, America, and off the ships. Very, very few cases in Australia came directly from China. Fact. But you have taken that off your site already. I don't need to say more. I've had enough of this. And so have you. Get off your fat ass and do something about it. Stop being a gutless turd.